Hey, y'all. It's the Lady PB, and I'm back with another one. Today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 strategies that I use in my business to help me with pricing. And today's video is not going to be like your regular normal pricing video. We're going to talk about some basic things that you need to know when you are pricing. And sometimes, guys, it amazes me when I see some of the comments and things about pricing. A lot of times when people are getting started, they just don't know how to price. And in today's video, I'm going to break down pricing to you, and hopefully this helps you. And if you follow these rules, it definitely will help you. So in my business, I'm normally giving out quotes. And this is for those of you guys who have, let's say that you have started your print business, right? You start your business, you learn how to print, and then after you learn how to print, now it's time, you got the phones ringing, people are starting to call you. You answer the phone, or you reply to the email, or they walk into your shop and you give them pricing, and kaput. They pass on your quote. And a lot of times it's, I hate to say it, you're the problem. You're the problem. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you have not done these 5 things in your business to ensure that you get the majority of the quotes that you output. Now, I don't get every single job that I bid on, right? And nobody's going to. But out of 10 jobs, if you're not getting 6 of them, it may be time for you to go back over your pricing and try to figure out what's going on. I'm going to give a few people a chance to come in. Y'all, if you don't know who I am, I'm LaTonna Robertson, the Lady Print Boss. I teach people like you how to boss up in your t-shirt business. And on this channel, we do topics like this as far as screen printing, pricing, marketing, all of that good stuff. I've got a class coming up September 20th, VIPs 21st and 22nd on marketing, sales, branding, you name it. It is a complete A to Z class, and it includes pricing, but in that class we're going to take a deep dive into pricing. Let me know out there in the comments if you have a problem pricing. I want to know if you have problems pricing your products, if you're pricing and people are passing on your prices, right? A lot of times I see, so today, for example, I saw a girl over on Facebook or TikTok, and she was complaining about why no one, she was complaining that, hey, I'm giving you guys pricing and you guys are, you're not buying from me, or I'm tired of, I don't want to change my prices. And all you hear in comments, and this is really the social media world, right? It can kill your business, because a lot of times all y'all hear is the price is the price, or hey, don't lower your prices for someone else, right? And I'm not telling you to lower your prices, so listen to this video in its entirety so that you can get down to the root of the problem, so that you can figure out what's going on with pricing and how to price your products effectively. So today I did 2 or 3 quotes, And I'm going to tell you guys, sometimes I will literally work on, depending on the amount, the dollar amount. Let's say if it's a quote that's $500-600, I'm probably working on that maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But sometimes I get these complicated quotes, and the quote may take me 2 hours, even 3 hours, but it may be a $30,000, $40,000, $20,000 quote. So I take a lot of time and I invest a lot of my time making sure that I've got that quote just right, and that I'm pricing that quote right, because I'm researching the company, I'm finding out what type of company it is. And besides the 5 strategies that I'm going to tell you, for those of you who are a little bit more advanced in your quoting, what I want to say is that I have found that when you're pricing across industries, so let's say if I'm giving a quote to someone who has a restaurant versus me giving a quote to a medical supply company, right? The expectations are different, their budgets are different, so the pricing can sometimes fluctuate, and you can get a higher perceived value over here from certain companies than you can other companies. And that's something that you learn as time go by. I haven't taught this class in a while, okay? So I'm really excited to do it here on YouTube, because I really teach this over here on YouTube. So let me grab a couple of things, y'all, and we're gonna get into it. I normally start the video at about 5 minutes, and let me say this really quickly. So Bosscation is the 21st and 22nd of September. If you are serious about growing your t-shirt business, and you want to learn from somebody who really gives a care about you and your business, that puts their all into you, and you're really passionate about what you're doing, and you're serious, because I don't want to train anybody that's not serious, right? Then make sure that you go over to ladyprintboss.com and at least do yourself a favor and check out the business training that we are having September 21st and 22nd. For $497, you're going to leave my 2-day business retreat with a wealth of information that's going to give you clarity and have you ready to go out here and conquer the t-shirt business. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and jump in. Let's see if anybody is in the chat yet. Hey, Jesse, how are you doing? You doing okay today? Give me 1 second, because there are some things that I want to get into. Some things that I want to get into. So I told you guys I'm going to give you 5 tips, right? And so the first thing, and probably the most important thing, and let me back up. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure that y'all subscribe, because YouTube tells me that we've had 2 million views and we don't have nearly as many subscribers as we should have here on the channel. So make sure that if you like this content, if you're enjoying it, I know that a lot of y'all are back there and y'all hanging in them bushes, okay? Make sure that you join in, and so that you can get the most out of these videos, okay? Okay, so five strategies. Five. You learn these 5 things, you're going to be able to make a powerful fist, okay? The first one is, of course, competitive pricing. I cannot explain to you guys how important it is to learn how to price properly and effectively, and to price for growth. Listen to me again. I said price for growth. Price for growth, y'all. The key word being growth. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you're pricing your products and your services at a price where you are able to grow. And how are you knowing that you're pricing for growth? If within the price that you're charging someone, you are not able to advertise and market your business, if you are not able to squeeze in some type of advertising or marketing budget in there, you're not pricing for growth. You're pricing for today, or you're pricing to run to the bottom of the barrel. So that's the first thing that I want to say, because I never want to tell anyone that you don't want to be known as that crab bottom of the barrel printer. Are there some things that you can do when you're pricing to make sure that your deals that you run, I have a $5.95 deal. Sometimes I can go as low as $4.95. You see these $3 deals. So you see people that are pricing really low, right? And you think, oh, they're a bottom of the barrel printer. But they're not actually selling those things. They're not actually doing very many of those deals because they're pricing to upcharge. But we're not going to talk about that, because y'all have heard me talk about that before, and that is a dead horse. So I know that y'all already know about that. But pricing is so important that it will make or break your business. You will literally, if you do not learn how to price your products correctly, women and gentlemen, and all of those in between, you will not succeed in business. Now that I've said that, let's move on. So the first thing, and number one, that you have to look at is competitor pricing. If your competitor down the street, around the way, is offering a similar service, keynote being similar, at lower prices, it might be influencing your potential client's decision on who they go with. And that being that they just may not see any type of added value that justifies your higher price. Okay? And when we talk about that, what do we mean, right? When we talk about it. So let's say, for example, and I'm going to break this down, like really break this down in simple terms. So let's say, example, that the other business, that your competitors are offering t-shirts at a lower price, right? You're selling custom t-shirts. Let's say that you're selling your custom t-shirt is $20 a shirt, right? But the other business is offering that same price. They're off, not that same price. The other business is offering custom t-shirts at $15, right? So you have to look at, because no matter how good of a printer you are, no matter how good of a printer you are, okay, you can only charge what the market calls for, right? And you can go up 17. You have to be able to justify that $20. So if the first thing that I would tell you guys is to make sure that you're looking to see what your competitors are charging. If you've given out 5 or 10 quotes and nobody's going with your pricing, right? You're not seeing that you are getting these jobs the way that you want to get them. Then you need to take a hard look and start figuring this out. what's going on. And you'll probably say, I'm not changing my prices. Okay, then you be broke, right? I'm not telling you to change your prices. What you have to do, and we're going to get to the second thing in a second, right? But what you have to do at that point, you owe it to yourself, for your livelihood, for your family, to your business, to go and conduct your market research to see what other people around you are charging. Okay? And then once you see what other people are charging, at that point, I would not just immediately adjust my prices. Some people may be higher, some people may be lower. And here's the thing. When you go and you see what other people are charging, there are some things that you need to look for. You have to compare apples to apples and not apples to oranges. What are you doing different? Okay? Are you both printing on a Gildan 500? Apples to apples. Are you printing on a G640, which is a ring spun cotton tee, compared to their printing on this regular heavyweight cotton t-shirt? That's not apples to apples. Are you printing on a Next Level shirt or a Bella Canvas shirt? Are you printing more colors? What is your printing process? What print process are you doing? Because that makes a big difference. So when I say compare apples to apples, I mean compare apples to apples, right? And so after you do that, the second thing that you have to figure out, the second strategy, so the first thing is to make sure that your prices are competitive. Hey, I'm on a live.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the first thing you have to do is make sure that your prices are competitive, right? And then if your prices are not competitive with people that are around you, right? And you're costing a little bit more, the second thing that you look for in pricing is perceived value. Perceived value. And you have to ask yourself, your perceived value, right? And what your customer's perceived value is. Because my perceived value is that my shirts are worth $50 a pop, right? However, I got to be realistic. And I have to look at what are my customers perceiving my value to be. Because if you're, so an example, here's the thing. Customers don't see why, if your customers don't see why your shirts are not worth more than the guy down the street, they're going to go with the person down the street. So if the person down the street is charging $15 a shirt and your shirt is $20 for a shirt, you have to up that perceived value in the eyes of the customer. And the way that we do that is by clearly communicating what the benefits are. I'm sorry, y'all. You have to clearly communicate the benefits of your t-shirt, right? Of buying this t-shirt from you. What's special about it? Is it your print technique? Is it a better quality print? Is it a better quality design? Or fabric? Let's say it's better fabric. It's a better t-shirt. It is, or let's say maybe it's the same shirt, because a lot of times people will print the same exact shirt. Let's say, for example, if you're printing on a let's say that you're printing on a Gildan t-shirt, a G500, I can be printing on that G500 too. But let's say in the case that I have a design that's a very unique design and you can't get it over here, I can sell my shirts for more. right? One example of that would be when I used to do a lot of simulated process printing. I got into simulated process printing because shops around me were not doing it, and so they were doing, if I got a shop around me and that shop is only doing spot color jobs, right? Let's say, for example, you're going to do a one color spot color job over here, or a two color spot color job, and I can do a simple halftone. Let's say that I take Tupac, and we're not going to use Tupac. Let's say that I take Tupac and I do a halftone print of Tupac. Even though that's a one color job over here of Tupac, and they're doing a one color spot color job over here, the perceived value goes up because the image, the type of printing, the process, okay? So it goes up even though both of them are screen printing. So now your perceived value goes up. You have to make your customers understand that. And how do we do that? How do we make them understand that? We make them understand that by clearly communicating the services that we offer, the quality that we offer visually, by using resources that we're giving, like maybe it's a photo mock-up, maybe it's a video mock-up. I tell you guys, video outsells photo probably 50 to 1. If I send someone a picture of just a shirt, right, and say, hey, this is this t-shirt, the Gildan 500, the Next Level 3600 next to each other, I can tell the difference. Most people see a t-shirt, right? But now, if I send you a video of somebody in their shirt and they moving and they got the background behind them and they grooving and people can see the way that that shirt fits on a real person and all that stuff, y'all know I am baby Afrocentric, okay? So don't pay me no attention with the movement, okay? That's how I talk, with the hands and the body language. It will sell the product, okay? So that's number 2, is the perceived value of what the product is. And you have to make sure that you are communicating that, whether you're writing that over in quotes or whether you are dealing with people in person. The great thing about selling to someone in person is that they're able to actually see the perceived value, right? And when it comes to pricing and perceived value, guys, you can even upsell yourself in your shop when you take one shirt. People will come in and they'll ask me for pricing on shirts, and if I see that you're the cheapest of the cheap, I'll turn around and say, hey, we have the Gildan 500, and I'll hold that shirt up with the crappy print on it, and then, hey, or we have this, and then I hold up a 2-color design. Sometimes in my shop we'll print a design as a 1-color design, and then we'll print a job as, we would print jobs as 2 or 3-color designs. And this was when we were doing walk-ins, right? And it may be the same logo, but that logo is now, instead of it just being in 1 color, we have that logo in 3 colors or 2 colors, and maybe on a different color shirt or on a different type of shirt. And so they can really see the perceived value of a Gildan shirt here, G500, or, you know, a lower end shirt with a 1-color print job versus this nice, beautiful, soft, sexy tee with side seams, nice neck, tapered sleeves, and a beautiful print with 3 colors, and those colors are popping. That's how you're going to upsell, okay? You can do that through video, in emails. You can do that through your website by posting pictures on your website of different things. There are ways for you to do that to increase the perceived value of your goods. And when we're talking about perceived value, guys, the other thing is, let's talk about it from the e-commerce side. Like when people go to your website, what do they see? Do they see a branded website with set colors? right? 2-3 colors max. Each page matches the theme throughout your website, matches. You don't have 10 different fonts popping out. Everything's not super busy. Sometimes I see these websites and they're super busy. And nowadays, with more people shopping on mobile, you have to be super careful. You gotta be super careful, y'all, with dealing with these colors. Hold on. Parched. So, as you guys know, that now we have mobile sites, right? So whether your site needs to be interactive, even on desktop, I can go into, when I'm working on a day-to-day basis, I'm working in dark mode on my desktop computer. Things look totally different in dark mode than they do as a regular light theme. Things on your phone look different in dark mode. So you have to look at that. Look at your website on dark mode. Look at your website on light mode. Look at the way that the pictures go. Are your pictures stretched and oblong and all this kind of stuff? What's going on with that, right? So when people go to your website, you want them to look at your website and you want them to say, oh, they know what they're doing, right? You don't want to look like you're some home printer not doing any dang on thing, right? You want your business to be perceived as you are the authority, right? And I've always told you guys, we got a print department over here, we got an art department over here, we got a business office over here. And so when I'm talking to people, right, I'm going to send that over to the design department. So all of that stuff has to do with perceived value, right, of what you're offering. And so then that's going to lead me to number 3. So the third reason why someone may not be going with your quote, and if you solve all of these reasons why people are not going with your quote, the ultimate goal of this video is to get people to go with your quote. So I hope that y'all writing this down, okay? It's the end of the day, honey. It's the end of the day. And I'm ready to go. But I'm here trying to help y'all out. So make sure that if you're watching the video that you at least like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, okay? So the third reason that people may not go with your quote, and this may not have anything to do with you, but it's going to be the market conditions. What's going on in the world? Right? What's going on in the world? The economy can hugely, greatly influence the economic decisions that customers make. And economic factors can make your customers more price sensitive. Okay? During tough times, here's an example, right? So during tough times, people may have less money to spend and they look for the lower prices. So for example, during COVID, people had less money to spend. They look for lower prices. We're in an election year this year, right? We're in an election year. You have some people who are concerned about the economy, right? So companies may pull back and say, we don't really want to spend a lot of money right now because we don't know what's going on or things are tight. Sometimes, and you have to look at, and this is what I was telling you guys earlier when I said, look at the industries that you're targeting, right? Look at the industries that are calling you and the type of client that's calling you, because that will greatly influence the amount that you're pricing, right? That can influence pricing. It's not going to influence your pricing, but it can influence that end customer's pricing decision, their decision on what they'll pay, how much they're willing to pay, right? And the perceived value of things. Like I said, if I'm dealing with hospitality, let's say if I'm doing some printing for doctors, they don't want cheap scrubs. They just don't. Okay? They don't. So their scrub may be, see those last scrubs we printed on were like $40 and $50 a pop. And they did tops and they did bottoms, and they probably did a couple hundred of each. Okay? So the garment that you're printing on can definitely influence price. I know we're on market conditions, but I'm going to go back because I missed that. I didn't talk about that. Like I said, y'all, it's been a while since I've taught this and kind of went through this. But the type of garment that you're printing on, right? So let's say, for example, if I'm printing a little logo here on some scrubs, I'm screen printing on scrubs, right? And these scrubs are $40 a scrub versus me screen printing on a $2 shirt, right? My cost of printing can do this. And what does that have to do with? That has to do with the type of customer. So we're going to get into that, right? And how do you, so what's your solution? Because there has to be a solution. So I got to give you, I can't just give you guys the market condition, why, and the examples and not give you a solution, right? So when market conditions are tough, and you have a customer that is more price sensitive, you have to be able to still price them and offer them some things, right? And how do we do that? We offer tier pricing. We can offer bulk pricing, which is tier pricing, right? Or we can also offer promotions, right, to make your products more budget friendly. So we still have something for you. It may not be exactly what you like. So an example, let's say that we have a one color t-shirt job, that one color screen print t-shirts on a G64, G640, and maybe that's $6. And then maybe you have a next level shirt that's next level probably around $11-12 or $13, right? And then let's say they like that softness of a next level shirt. And I shouldn't have said for $6. We're gonna say $8, right? We'll say $8. Let's give it a $5 difference. I'm just throwing out numbers, so y'all don't judge me on these numbers, because I'm just throwing out numbers right here. So the G640 is a ring spun cotton shirt by Gildan, right? The next level is a ring spun cotton shirt by Next Level, so it has more of a higher perceived value, as so is the 3001 by Bella Canvas. It's going to have a higher perceived value. Let's say, for example, that you quote your customer on that, and they're telling you, hey, you know, we really can't afford this, or you do a good, better, and best quote on it straight out the gate to give them some options. And that's what I always do. I don't do 3 quotes anymore. I only do 2. And I normally kind of can judge from the tone of the emails or the conversation that I've had with people what shirt to put them in. Yeah, I'm judgy. So I judge and I decide from holding a conversation with my clients what they're more likely to go with. And here's an example, because I don't want y'all to say she tripping. Okay? So here's an example. I get a phone call from a lady or a gentleman, and they have a conference that they're going to attend, that the company is going to attend this conference next month, and they need to get 36 shirts because they need to outfit their employees. Okay? Versus, I get a call from someone who is going to have a 20th birthday party, and they want to make sure that the birthday girl and all of her friends and them, and they have these shirts, and we're still comparing apples to apples, a one color job here, a one color job there, right? I know that this company, most definitely, I'm going to start you out on the higher end. I'm going to start them out on the higher end. Now, as soon as I hang up the phone, because I've gotten their emails, and this is the difference. Y'all gonna have to learn this stuff. When you get an email from just a random email, a gmail.com or whatever, right? It's nothing that you can do because you just don't know what's going on. But when you get an email with the company's domain, then you go and you check that out. Or you get a signature and it has their business information, where they work and all of that stuff. You go and you check that out. You look at the position of the person, you check that out, right? And sometimes, and if you don't know, you can easily say, hey, how much are you looking to spend per shirt? It sounds more, or you can say, how much are you willing to spend per shirt, right? How much are you wanting to spend? Da, da, da. You phrase it how you want to phrase it. Sometimes that goes over better than saying something like, okay, what's your budget? People do not like that word budget. Tell me in the comments if when you ask people what's their budget, if they give it to you or if they run. And sometimes, guys, when you say a budget, right? Let's say that the budget is, or when I'm pricing, right? I give the cost per shirt versus getting the overall amount. Because sometimes I may be quoting a job, and let's say it sounds better for me to say, $10 to $12 a shirt versus me to say the quote totals to $11,562. Okay, it sounds better, and people in their mind, they look at it and say, oh, okay, well, we can totally spend $10 a shirt on our employees, right? Or we can, or even if it's like a small order of girlfriend shirts, they going on a trip, right? And you say, okay, let's say they're going to get shirts, and it comes out to $20 a piece, or $22 a piece, or $25 a piece, right? So it sounds a lot better than giving that big number, okay, right out the gate. You got to dummy it down a little bit, right? You got to dummy it down a little bit, right? Hey, Journey, how you doing? Hey, Cynthia. Cynthia says it's an uncomfortable ask. And this is the thing, Cynthia. You have to learn. You have to, because you need to know in order for you to be able. And a lot of times, what we have to do is it's kind of like pulling nails from the client to find out what a budget is. But you have to make sure that you articulate to them that by, hey, if I know how much you're willing to spend, how much you're wanting to spend per shirt, what your numbers is, and it could be a soft number or a hard number, right? And I always tell people, give me a soft number and a hard number. And I explain to them that by me knowing this, because t-shirts, honey, t-shirts are all over the place, right? I talk to my customers just like I talk to y'all, with a little bit more professionalism, right? A little southern drawl, and then I throw in a little ebonic every now and then. But for the most part, I talk to people just like we're talking, and I'll tell them, well, prices t-shirts can vary. as you know. And I will say, I have a thing about saying, well, as you know, t-shirts are not priced all the same, right? So the blanks are different prices, and they know that, and they understand that. Sometimes you'd be surprised. Some of them think all the t-shirts are all the same. We can get the highest level t-shirt, the lowest level, all of them are the same. And everybody thinks that kids shirts are supposed to be cheaper than adult shirts. And you have to explain that, right? But it's the way that you explain it. And I'm playing now, y'all. I said it kind of rudely, but I'm playing. Okay. The way that we go in, and the way that we go in and we price things and we talk to people about pricing, right? We can figure out what a customer wants to spend, and another way to approach it would be, well, we could go with a basic shirt for this, a ring spun t-shirt. If you want to go, if you want to bump up to a better shirt, I would suggest a nice soft ring spun t-shirt. It has side seams, this, that. If you're really looking for the cream of the crop, I've got a beautiful tri-blend for you. It's going to give you that nice soft feel of cotton, right? And it's going to give you that sheen, that shiny look of that rayon. And then you're going to get a wrinkle-free shirt because it has that polyester in it, right? So you're going to get the best of all three worlds. I tell you, this is Linda. Listen, this is the best that I have to offer. Okay. And then, sometimes you have customers that are brand specific, y'all. And if you have a client, now I'm going to tell you this. If a client reaches out to me and they say, hey, I like to get a price for 50 shirts and we want to print on alternative wear, I already know. Let's go, baby. Okay. Let's go. That customer is an educated customer. That customer may call you and say, hey, we want the Bella Canvas so and so and so. Right? Or they may call you and say, let's say they call you and they say they're looking for a brand and you don't carry that brand, but you carry a comparable brand, right? Sometimes you can strike up a conversation and find out why they like that brand. What is it so special about that brand? Or what are they going to be wearing the shirts for and things like that. And sometimes just by me just holding a conversation with them, finding out, what they're going to be wearing the shirts for, where are they going to be at when they're wearing them. They're going to be outside. Oh, honey, you're going to be outside in the heat, sweating. Oh, I can push you up and push up that sale, right? Upsell them simply because I asked the question, where are you going to be at? Right? What are you going to be wearing the shirts for? And they told me that they're going to be outside in the heat. And then I recommend a dry blend shirt or a dry fit shirt or something like that, right? And then show them the benefits of it. That's where we go back to that perceived value of pushing that up. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So let's go into the fourth thing. So we've talked about competitive pricing, we've talked about perceived value, and then we've talked about the market conditions, right? So number 4 for you guys, number 4, I'm writing this down as I'm going. Number 4 is going to be, why are people passing on your quotes? You just have the wrong target audience. You are targeting the wrong customer, okay? And not everything is for everybody. You're targeting the wrong customers. And what I mean by that, let's break this down and see how to put this in some simple terms. Because y'all know sometimes some of the stuff that comes out of this mouth. So I got to think about it. your pricing for your products or service may not match the buying power of that consumer. Let's put it like that. That's a really, really good way to put it. So let's say that the prices that you have set, right? It's not affordable to your customers. They don't have that spending power. They don't have that ability to fluctuate. And sometimes that's okay. If you find that, hey, people are saying, hey, they're not going with your quote, right? And then you look around at the competitors' prices and you see, okay, I'm eye to eye with competitors. I'm right here. Okay, ain't nothing going on. I'm explaining how much this is. People are like, oh yeah, I really do. Oh, I like that. Oh girl, I loved it. They really like all of that, right? But they ain't got that money to spend it. You know what I'm saying? What do they say? They want caviar on some kind of budget, right? So they understand that this is the top of the line product that you're offering or service. I had a guy call me a couple of weeks ago, and we had a conversation, and he was talking to me about starting a clothing line and what he wanted to do and da this and da that. And long story short, throughout the conversation, as we're talking, this guy just stopped me. And he said, hey, I'm not ready to deal with you yet. I'm on a 1 to 10 shirt level, and you're talking to me on, because he's talking about buying one of this design, one of that design, one, right? And I'm talking to him on bulk pricing. And this guy says, you know what, ma'am, I'm not going to waste your time. I respected that, because he told me, hey, you know, I'm just getting started. I want to come in. I want to see what this is. I want to touch and feel. And when I told him that he had to book an appointment, he said, oh, you bougie. Oh, baby, I'm not ready for you. So sometimes people are just not ready for you. And let's say, for example, your new customer is a student, right? And they're going to school and they have a limited budget, right? They may not be able to afford higher price items. Now let's say that on the other end, that you're doing something for a private school and maybe them kids ain't got money, but their mamas and daddies had a cho-chos, okay? So then you could still sell the higher items. But sometimes you are targeting the wrong audience. And so then you have to look. And even with us with printing t-shirts, right? For example, the example that I use, let's say, for example, I'm printing for a family reunion, or I'm printing for a certain restaurant that's maybe not a big chain, or they have a lower end budget, versus I'm going to go and print something for this technology company and they have an unlimited budget, right? So that within, I'm giving y'all gems now, and y'all probably not catching, so catch it, because I'm throwing it out there, okay? Catch it. Within the printing industry, there are some industries that there are some industries that are just price higher, that where you can pull in more money, right? So for example, one is, and this is something that I don't like to do and a lot of printers don't like. So let's say, for example, you guys know those football jerseys with the holes in them and the screen print, the names and numbers. A lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people don't. If you're doing sports stuff, People are crazy about that sports stuff. They're going to buy it, and you can get a higher perceived value. Why? Because you're probably printing on something that costs more money than a $3, $4 t-shirt. Right? You're printing on a jersey. They're going to spend more money because guess what? They're used to seeing the cost of jerseys in stores cost more. They're going to pay you more for printing on a hoodie than they would for a regular plain Jane t-shirt, because they see full color t-shirts at Walmart, honey. What are they now? $5, $5.95. Catch it. Did y'all catch it? So think about that when you are developing your marketing plan and when you're out here and you're looking for clients. Think about what industries that you're going after. Okay, that's too much. That's bosscation business right there. I'm giving y'all too much, okay? So anyways, you can always adjust your pricing strategy to fit your audience's budget, right? Now, if you feel that this is just not the audience for me, you got to go over here and find your right audience. You have to find the audience that and market to a different type of customer. We're going to dive deep into this stuff at the Bosscation event, y'all. And again, for those of you guys that are coming in, I would love to see you guys at Bosscation. Right now, the tickets for Bosscation are only $4.97. And people are coming from all over to come and join into this training. So I would love to see some of you guys there. Okay, so I'm going to give y'all number 5. Okay, and we pretty much have already talked about number 5. Okay, before we go into number 5, let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments before we go into number 5. Let's go to the comments on number 5 and let's see what we have. Cynthia says, I was talking about the word budget. Specifically, people respond as if you're trying to price up. They do. They do. People will run from you when you ask them what the budget is. They'll say, oh, I really haven't thought about it, or they don't know, right? But people will run from you, baby, like you have the leprosy when you ask them what their budget is. So you have to be very careful in how you ask it. And I find this, y'all, dealing with people who are just individuals, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, big corporations. I find this just going across the board, especially, honey, nonprofits. You ask a nonprofit how much the budget is, they gonna tell you we don't have a budget. We really don't have one. We're looking for free. And that wasn't wine in that cup. Okay. Whew, honey. Whew, this thing got hot up in here talking about that budget. Okay. Okay, so number 5. The 5th reason that people may not be going with your quote is just because of communication, a lack of communication. Maybe it's a lack of detail, the lack of detail that you're providing in your quote. Like, for example, somebody calls you or they email you and they ask you for a quote for X amount of shirts, and you just say it's going to be $20 a shirt without explaining it. That's simple, right? It's $20 a shirt, you didn't explain what's included, so they may look at somebody else's quote and they say, oh, the other person is very, very detailed, professional. They give you a professional quote that's breaking down everything. I'm gonna tell y'all, and I know that this is so true, because so before I created the t-shirt calculator, I had a hard time giving quotes throughout the years, and I used QuickBooks and I don't know what other type of software to give. I think I did quotes in Excel, but most of the time when people would call me and they would ask me for a quote, I would just tell them how much it was, or people would come into the office and I give them pricing, right? And I noticed that a lot of times people were questioning my pricing. When I switched to the t-shirt calculator, it changed my business. It was like night and day. And this ain't a pump up and to blow up the t-shirt calculator, right? When you're able to give someone pricing and put it in their face and hand them a quote, and it looks very professional, and they can see the prices, they can see exactly what they're getting broken down, and they get that good understanding, they're ready to pay. And part of that has to do with the conversation. Okay, so it's going to be, let's say it's going to be $565, right? And you hand them, so your total is $565 today. Hand them that invoice. How would you like to pay? Period. Right? At that point, you have put the ball in their court, and that's what I like to do. When I am sending, whether I'm sending you a quote through email, whether I'm talking to you on the phone and I'm giving you a quote, right? And after I give you that quote, I want to follow up that quote with, are you ready to place that order? Okay. And sometimes if I'm super busy, and let's say I don't have time to email the quote, create the quote and all of that, and I've given them the quote, because sometimes I'll just give them the quote in email and I'll kind of break down the cost of the shirts, the cost of the printing or whatever, and sometimes I won't even break it down like that, but I break it down by the type of shirt that they're getting, the number of prints on the front, the number of prints on the back, stuff like that, the type of printing that they're getting. That's what I do. I don't break down shirt costs and print costs separately. Okay, but let's say that I broke all of that stuff down in the email. I may say, would you like to proceed with the order? Or I may do something like, I may, sometimes I'll just attach, if I'm really needing that money, right? I'll just go ahead and I got time, I'm just going to go ahead and attach the invoice, give them the pricing, let them know that the invoice is attached, and give them a link to make that payment to speed things up. Sometimes I'm busy and I don't do that, but I'm going back to that method of, let me go ahead and just price everybody out, right? And it's kind of hard to do when you're pricing a bunch of people to create the invoices and all of that. A lot of times it's like, if I know that, let's say for example, I give them a quote and I don't have the exact number of shirts, like they hit me and they say they need 50 shirts, right? So then I'll tell them, once I've given them the quote, right, I'll tell them to proceed with this quote, send me over your sizing, and I'll go ahead and get the invoice over to you, and I'll get the invoice back over to you and get you on my print schedule, right? So that they can go ahead and give me them coins. All right, y'all. Okay. So let's say, for example, if you are just sending over quotes and people are not responding to you that way, it could be, that could be your situation, right? Cynthia says Walmart people versus Target versus Saks. Okay, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to use that one, sis. That's a good one. Hey Mel, how are you? So Imperial says, I also find people run when you ask what other shops are charging for their job. I probably run too. Let me see how to say this. I'm just going to tell you the first thought that came to my mind is, if somebody asks me, well, how much are you paying? How much was the other shop that you was going to charging you? I'm going to, in my mind, say, well, hell, she don't even know what they don't even know how to charge over there. They don't even know their prices. I don't want to tell you what the other shop charging me. I want to know what your price is. So I would switch that and change that around. I would change that question around, because you should kind of know what your competitors are charging. Like, you should know that you are in the ballpark. Now, let's say that you want to beat out the competitor that's down the street. Maybe they're charging $15 a shirt and you're charging $15 a shirt, right? Maybe you could do something like, hey, we match competitors' prices, right? And maybe you can have that on the bottom of your quote, that you match competitors' prices apples to apples, or you'll beat a written quote, because it gotta be written. You'll beat a written quote by 5%. Or maybe you're offering, maybe they're $15 and you're $15, but maybe you give a few extra shirts with your orders, things like that. But I wouldn't ask my customers what they're paying down the way. Like, we have to be real cool, right? Sometimes people will just volunteer that information, but when you ask them, it's kind of like, it made me feel away. It made me feel away. So I wouldn't take that approach. If me, and that's just me, I wouldn't take that approach to ask them, because it kind of shows, it kind of makes a person feel like you don't have your pricing together. And so, for example, so sometimes y'all know, like, have you ever called a shop and asked for how much such and such costs, right? And then you didn't get it that day, but you call back another day. And when you call back the next day, they gave you another price, or your friend had called and they told your friend that it was $10 a shirt, and then you called and they told you that, and you asked for the exact same thing and they told you that it was $15 a shirt. It's like prices are just everywhere. That's what I love. That's another thing that I love about the t-shirt calculator. Everything is consistent. So you have to be careful about pricing customers that way, because you don't want anyone to think that you're not the authority on pricing, that you don't have your shit together when it comes to pricing products. So that's one that I probably would not ask. Yes, wind down Thursday. Wind down Thursday. Yeah, that's probably nothing that I would ask. And maybe some of the ladies in the comments can kind of think of another way. It's that one is even worse than the budget question. That one's even worse than the budget question, right? And I definitely wouldn't ask what the other guy, maybe if you said something like, so So, like, sometimes I'll ask people, what type of shirts are you used to getting? Like, so the last shirts that you printed on, what brand were they? And that gives me an idea. So I know where your budget is, or where your pricing is, just based up on the last thing that you purchased. So if you come and tell me, oh, it was a Bella so and so and so, I know, okay, I'm comparing apples to apples. If they say, oh, well, our last shirt, it was a Gildan such and such, then I kind of know. But as far as asking like the prices, the other shop, I would leave the word shops prices out of it, completely out of it. I leave that completely out of it. Hey, Renovia, how you doing today? What's poppin'? Okay, so you guys, I've kind of gone through through those questions with y'all, right? So again, let's just quickly go over. So like, what are some of the ways that you can improve your quotes, right? And the first way to improve your quotes is going to be looking at other businesses. What are they charging? What are they charging? And what do they offer for the price that they're charging? Because you got to compare apples to apples. So for me, I'm going to tell you guys. So let's say, for example, one of the perks of doing business with me is that any order that's over $400 or $500, I deliver to my customer's doorstep locally. They don't have to wait on the mail. They don't have to come pick it up. Customers, my clients, love that I'm coming and I'm bringing them shirts. And whenever I come through the door to bring the shirts and deliver them, whether it's me or Ken, we got that box. We got a nice smile on our face. They get to meet us in person. We've got some goodies in there for you. We got a card. We got some brochures, stuff like that. Sometimes we even have our, for our best customers, let's see if I got one. For our best customers, we have a book for them. This one's all broke up, but for our best customers, we have a book for them with all of our products in. And so sometimes we'll take and we'll put a bookmark there. We'll put a business card there. Then you can turn around. Let's say if it is, so here's one. So let's say if it's, we'll go in here and we'll find something. Let's say that we wanted to promote these bags, right? We go in here and let's say we just create a little flyer and the bags are on promo and we put that in there. Now I have one lady who all she does is order Next Level shirts from me. So let's say if I want to upcharge her and I want her to upsell, not upcharge, upsell her, and I want to sell her some jackets. I've got the shirts that she normally buys. I've got that bookmark, and it takes a little bit of time, right? So you can either bookmark it, you can take those, and I just bought some. Where are they? Let me see. So you can take something like this, right? And I can just put that off in here, and I can actually just kind of tape that to there. And so now I have something here, right? So this is a deal. So I can have, they can open this up and I got a page in here with a flyer and something, a special that's just for them. I may even have, and we do this a lot when we put people on special pricing. So now everybody ain't getting a book. I'm sorry. Everybody can't get a book. This is a perk of being a loyal book customer. I'm going to give you a book and I'm going to give you pricing. So the prices are going to be off in here. And I may, y'all know, here's another perk of that t-shirt calculator. Okay, we ain't promoting t-shirt calculator today, but sometimes y'all miss it and don't really know what all you can do with your t-shirt calculator, and I gotta come in there and show y'all. So let's see Ifins, I can get it up here on the screen real quick. Okay, let's go in here, and I think that I did a PDF of, let's see, did I? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's on a whole nother screen, but let's go over here. Okay, let's put this on this screen. Okay, so here we go. Side by side desktop. Okay, boom, shalaka-laka boom. So here we go. So this is a PDF with the cost of the Gildan t-shirts in white, right? So I can just print this out. You guys have instant pricing sheets in here. So let's say that a customer even hits you and they don't really know like what, they don't know what the exactly how many shirts, and they just need a random quote, and you ain't got time to sit up and give them a quote like this, right? Because they're just inquiring. That's what the pricing charts are for. I created those pricing charts because when I was in my shop, baby, people will walk into the shop. Here goes some cookies or some crackers or something, y'all. People will walk into my shop and hold me up because they didn't know how many shirts they needed or what they wanted on it or this or that. So a great way is to have those pricing charts and just say here. So if you have, let's see, they have like 4 or 5 different styles that you know that this company likes or that you think you can sell them, then go ahead and print those out and put them in the book. So for example, you have a customer and they normally order t-shirts, right? Let's say that you want to try something else. Winter is coming. You know, hey, they may want some long sleeves or they may want sweatshirts. Let's try to sell them some sweatshirts. They don't know it until you put it out there, right? So then you put the price of that in the book, and maybe you do a first time special for that because they've already spent X amount of dollars. And the other thing, y'all, is when people are spending, so let's say that you got customers and that customer spent $10,000 with you, okay, and you know that this is a person who orders quite frequently. Let's say they order 3-4 times a year, and you have started to build that relationship. A lot of times what people don't do is they don't put their clients on set pricing. Now, set pricing does not mean that we're not going to go up on you when we have a price increase, but let's say that you're paying $13 for, let's say that you call me and you need 50 shirts, and the 50 shirts is $15, and then you call me and you need 100 shirts, and the 100 shirts is $12, and then you call me and you need 200 shirts, and the 200 shirts is $11 or whatever, right? Whatever it is, okay? I'll go in and I'll average up what they've spent, and I'll put them on set pricing. So I have one lady who averages out at about $13 a shirt. Sometimes her shirts are $13. Sometimes she's spending $15 a shirt, right? Because she's getting a little less than what she normally gets. I'm just going to give you them shirts for $13. And I put them on a set price for those shirts. Now, with that being said, these are people who you're keeping their screens or you have their artwork. Now, you don't want them to call back. There has to be stipulations because you don't want them calling you back and coming back to you and they only order 10 shirts, right? But these are people in this deal that ain't for everybody. Like I say, it's not for every customer. This is for customers that you know, hey, they teach classes, they're going to have an event. Every time they order, they're ordering at least 100 shirts to 200 shirts or 300 shirts. So if they order every time they come, they order 25 shirts or they order this, throw in a shirt or two sometimes. Do something different from them. Maybe you have a sweatshirt that's sitting around, right? And you know, okay, it's a tire shop and it's going to be winter time. Like, make the products that you offer customers, make it be customer appropriate, like to whatever their business is. Because let's say if I'm doing a corporate office, right, and they're getting t-shirts, the next thing I may want to offer you is polos, and then I want to offer you some jackets, okay, and I'm going to do a nice zip down type of jacket. I'm not going to offer you a hoodie, So make it make sense, right? Make it make sense, y'all. Okay. So, ways you can improve. I got off a little bit, and we're going to get off of here in just a second. Let me go through here and see has anybody had anything. I thought he said, hey, T, baby. I was going to say, hey, who is that? Okay. So, do your market research. And when I say market research, find out what local shops are charging around you. Find out what the average cost is. And don't try to compete to beat the competitor, but just find out, hey, what are they offering, and see if you're competitive in that space. And then also look at the perks that you offer. What is it that you do that's better than over here? Is your designs capabilities better? Do you offer, what other type of printing do you offer? How can you upcharge and upsell that customer, right? Make your perceived value more. Do you deal one-on-one with your customers? Because a lot of times, y'all, I can beat, people are paying me more than what they pay in Custom Ink, right? Because just for one, I'm local. When you call me, I'm going to pick up the phone. My orders are out on time. I got a cool personality and a cute face, honey. And a big old booty to go with it. Okay? So, that part. Let's leave that booty part off. Not the booty part. That was the joke. Okay? That was the joke. Okay. So, y'all get it. And when it comes to value proposition, right, make sure that you're stating, because people are trying to figure out what's your perceived value, right? The way that you're going to show them that, hey, that you're going to increase the perceived value is by clearly stating it, right? What it is about your product. So let's say, for example, that it's an eco-friendly shirt that you're using. You're using eco-friendly materials. You're offering, maybe one of your perks is a free design consultation, right? Maybe that's a perk. Another one of my perks is the Google Meetings. That's a perk, okay? So highlight those benefits in your quote when you're giving quotes to people, and that will help you get jobs. Number 3, and this is something that a lot of y'all, even me, sometimes we don't want, because you're kind of scared. If a customer doesn't go with you, and I do this in my email sequences when I'm sending out emails, y'all know I'm not one of those that's going to send out 7 sequences to the email. I'm just not going to do it. Baby, look here. By the time I hit you 3 times and I ain't got no response, baby, I'm done and out and on to the next victim. Okay? But here's one thing that you can do. Ask for feedback. I don't know exactly the terminology that I use when I send out that last and final email. I might say something like, hey, just one last final email to see if you still need this service. If you didn't, or something, hey, if you decide not to go with us, can I ask you why? Pure and simple. Leave it like that. Can I ask you why, right? You'd be surprised at how many people will hit back and say, well, Latana, the client didn't think that it was the best thing for them. It was out of the budget, or you couldn't meet our timing, or we went with another vendor because they were this, blah, 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 right? Find out why. That way you can go in now and kind of say, okay, well, let me look and see, is there something that I can do in my pricing? And you can also make a note in that client's file. So, because even though they didn't go with you that first time, you still gonna market to them. You get them the next time. Okay? And lastly, y'all, well, we not on the last one, but I'm going to tell y'all that anyway. So another thing is, sometimes a customer, you have to let a customer go, right? If you know that, hey, you've got competitive pricing, the perceived value is good, You know that there's nothing, sometimes there's nothing that you can do about the market, right? Nothing you can do about the economy, but you know you got a good price, right? You know that you have a good price, you got a good service that you're offering, and your price is 100% on point. Sometimes, baby, you got to let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And see if they come back to you. Because ain't nothing wrong with shopping around. I let people shop around all the time. Baby, I get tired of you and say, okay, well, I tell you what, you go over there and deal with that. Because I know one thing about me. When you reach out to TSD, I might get on here and joke and play with y'all and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to give your ass some good customer service. I'm going to give you some good customer service, okay? It's like rubbing on a baby's booty, honey. I'm going to give you some good customer service, okay? You ain't gonna have no diaper rash when you leave me. You gonna feel good. Gonna massage you down and make you happy about the purchase that you just purchased, so you can come back and get some more of this good over here, right? That's how people hook dope things. They sell you something, you love it, and then guess what? You want to go back over there and you want some more of it. So then I'm gonna market back to you. This ain't even a marketing video, but okay, y'all got it. Okay, so anyway, another thing you can do, so because we're on the fourth thing that you can do after we've already talked about the 5 things, right, and things that you can do to solve the problems, is adjust the pricing, right? Adjust the pricing. And one way that you can adjust the pricing is by offering different packages, right? Because we don't live in a one size or one solution fits all type of universe. We need different packages. Basic t-shirts, $15 with a 1-color logo. A premium shirt with a 1-color logo is $20. A deluxe package with delivery is $30. So you got different things, right? So you catering to different folks. Different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. Y'all know. Okay. I've been on here playing with y'all just a little bit too long. I might need to get my butt up off of here. Anyway, number 5, don't forget to run those promotions and discounts. Okay? Don't forget to run your promotions and your discounts, because your promotions and your discounts, those are going to get those customers that, let's say that, hey, you have that good competitive pricing, but still they're on the cheaper end, right? Those customers who are maybe in that economic, in that market right there where they're going through that struggle, they'll love those promotions and they'll love those discounts, right? I might can't help you with this nice soft such and such, but baby, I got the next best thing for you over here, this G640. It's a little bit cheaper than this next level, and I got a promotion going on it, okay? People love deals. People love deals. You can buy, if you're selling, single shirts, you can do a buy 2 and a get 1 free. If you're selling in bulk, maybe it's buy 90 and get 10 shirts free or whatever. I don't know, because shirts, if you look at the shirts and you say, okay, well, I'm paying $3 for the shirts and $10, that's a $30 discount off of, let's say, $800. Hey, you could do that. You could do that. But all in all, still, let's go back to the very first thing that I told y'all on here, because the most important thing out of all of this that I want y'all to take apart from this is to price for growth. Price your products for growth. Again, if you are not pricing your products for growth, you are doing yourself a disservice. You're either going to just stay right there where you are and just be stuck on the hamster wheel. Just like that, just stuck on the hamster wheel, and you're never going to get to that point. Now, for those of you guys, I love premium prices, right? And so I am that type of chick, baby. I will sit here and I will wait and wait and wait, and I'll take me 2 orders and get me that 20 G's that I need, right? But I know that I built that clientele to where they're going to call me and I'm going to get it. That's why I don't print on Fridays. That's why I don't print on Fridays. That's where that came from. Not printing on Fridays came from not wanting to be the bottom of the barrel crab printer, and on Fridays we not going to print. You know what I'm saying? We just don't print on Fridays. We waiting for that rush order to come in on Fridays, and if that rush order comes in, then we get it. But guys, if you want to keep your print schedule full and you want to be busy, right? Try these tips. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, it will help you greatly, right? Lastly, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Enhance your quotes. Enhance your quotes. When you are emailing quotes or when you're giving people quotes, right, make sure that you break those quotes down so that they know exactly what they're getting, right? And the other thing is your quotes need to be clear, detailed, and visually appealing. Okay? And that's where we go into talking about those job proofs and things like that. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if y'all have any questions, leave them down in the comments. And if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget that we got Bosscation coming up. And on the 20, we got a local thing going down here on the 17th. The 17th of this month, I will be having a lunch meeting. It's just a networking meeting if you're interested, for those people who are in Dallas, and it will be held at the Owner's Box, which is in downtown Dallas inside the Omni Hotel. Really, really nice place. Hey, if you're having problems in your t-shirt business, you just want to have someone to come out and network, this ain't a training. Okay, it's not a training. This is just come on out, enjoy lunch, do a little talking and conversation. You might get some gems. Okay, whenever you're with me, you're gonna always get some gems. Sometimes being around people who are doing the things that you do or doing the things that you're aspiring to do will help you get to the top. If I never learned anything from my no good kids daddy, not my husband, my other two, my first one, okay, I learned from that man, money begot money, baby. And in other terms, that means to be with money and make money, you got to hang around money. So I've always used that in every aspect of my life and my business. So I said, okay, if I want to be around people who make it to the top in the t-shirt business, then I got to go hang around. I'll be at Impressions 2024, ISS Fort Worth. I don't know what day it is. They ain't called me yet, but that's okay, because guess what? I'll be there, and I hope that you guys are there too. Okay, all right, y'all. Bye. They better call me. Where y'all at? If